Here in the South, music is almost as important as breathing. From bluegrass in the Appalachian Mountains and gospel in the Bible Belt, to blues in Memphis and soul in Muscle Shoals, it's all American music, born here in the Deep South and celebrated by a new generation. Welcome to Southern Fried Music TV.
2, 3, 4.
Welcome back into another edition of Southern Fried Music TV. Glenn Williams, Carl Brady along with you, and we've got another great show today. You know, we've been experimenting with lots of different genres of music. We've had blues, we've had soul, we've had bluegrass, gospel, southern gospel, and that's what we do. If it's southern music, then that's what you're going to see featured here on the show. But we're going to go back into the ranks of southern gospel music today with Wilburn and Wilburn, Jonathan and Jordan Wilburn. You know, Jonathan has a long history in southern gospel music from his family group, the Wilburns, from years back. Was part of Gold City for a long time, then partnering up with his son.
Yeah, you know, and I remember when this kind of came about. Actually, Jonathan had been working at Ronnie Watkins Ford for quite a while, and he just said that, you know, he said, I'm tired of traveling, tired of doing this. Well, Jordan kind of began to grow up a little bit, and I guess he got into his late teen years, maybe early 20s, and they used to just kind of mess with singing just a little bit. And one day, Jonathan just said, he felt like the Lord was calling him back to go back on the road. What a dynamic duo. These guys are, they're setting the woods on fire. They are full of energy. Jonathan's really full of a lot of things. And you know, we talked about the interview, and we didn't do Jonathan because I was afraid we didn't have enough time to do the 30-minute show when we got done. And I love to kid him about that. But we did get an opportunity to interview Jordan. These guys they're spitting out albums, and you know, in an earlier show we mentioned Ben Isaac. Ben's been working with these guys producing their CDs and stuff for the last few years, and it's just phenomenal. But what a dynamite sound to come from right here in our hometown. Yeah,
they've got a great sound, and you're going to hear some of it today as we feature Wilburn and Wilburn here on Southern Fried Music TV.
Well, folks, I am here with what I would call the newest generation of Southern gospel music, and I'm going to go ahead and say the better half of Wilburn and Wilburn. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't have a problem with that. I know the other half might, but...
Well, we just won't tell him.
There you go, that's right. Maybe he won't watch.
You make sure you get paid, and then we'll tell him.
That's it.
I am here with Jordan tonight, and let me just tell you, we're about to have one of the biggest shows, I believe, that Gadsden, Alabama's ever seen. One of the dynamite reunion of Southern gospel groups here. We got Wilburn and Wilburn. We've got Gold City.
Gold City.
We got the
Quartet.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait about that. And who's the other group?
Perrick and vocal
Look, let me just tell you something. This is going to be awesome.
It is going to be a great night.
And it is going to be great to be a part of it.
Yes, I'm honored.
I know you are. Listen, I want to go back and let you do a little bit of history. I always try to start with a little bit of history lesson. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your dad. Where did he start in gospel music?
Dad started with my grandparents, the Wilburns. They were just called the Wilburns. Actually, if you go back even further, it's called the Wilburn family.
Wow.
And they all loaded up on an old 4104 bus. And that was my dad, his two brothers, their wives, my grandmother, granddad. They had a full live band. There was close to 14 people on one bus.
Traveling together?
Traveling together. There was one promoter told him he'd pay more to see them all get off the bus than he would for them to sit up and sing.
Well, and to get along.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So it started there, and then when they decided to go full-time, Dad was really the only one that was interested in that.
Wow.
So it went down to a trio, which was my granddad, Jackie Wilburn, Elaine Wilburn, and my dad, Jonathan. And from there, they were a trio. Then they went back to a quartet and hired a guy by the name of Tony Gore. And they had some success. They had some God's Promised Land was a big, Outside the Gate was a big hit for them in the 80s, early 90s. Then Dad, he was with my grandparents, the Wilburns, for 15, 16 years. And then I was actually there the night they sang with Gold City, and it was after the Brian and Ivan era, and Gold City had went through a couple of lead singers, and they had a guy at the time named David Hill, and he was had already announced his resignation, and the Wilburns just so happened to be opening for Gold City, and so during sound check, it was a very informal thing. Dad just stepped up there, and actually the Wilburns in Gold City were doing an old song called "I Thank My Savior for It All" that the Happy Goodmans used to do.
Yeah.
And they were both doing the same song with the exact same arrangement at the time. So Dad just stepped up there with Gold City and started singing, and that was his audition. He got the job and sang with them for 12 years.
Wow.
So that's,
you know, there's an old saying, being in the right place at the right time.
That's right, right time, that's it.
Well, and he well deserved it. He's a tremendous singer and a great guy, and I've known him for a long, long time now. And he's been, you know, through different careers and different things, but I know it's been about, I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years now that you guys stepped back out on faith to do this?
Yes. He was with Gold City for 12 years, then for 2 years, to be honest, and he's told me this, and he's told the audience this, so he won't mind me telling. He just got burnt out on the road.
Boy.
Just, you know, all his life, that's all he ever did.
But that's easy to do.
It is, and so he took a step back, and for 2 years, he actually sold cars at the Ford dealership down here in Gaston.
I know. I kept up with him.
Yeah. So, and he did that, and during that time, he and I would sing maybe once a blue moon, maybe a Sunday here and there. And just me and him, and that evolved into what we do now. It was never really a planned thing, it was just a God thing.
But you know what, it was meant to be. I'm gonna tell you something, the first time I heard you guys together, there was no doubt that that's what you should have been doing. Now, how old were you at that point?
At that point, I'm 28 now, so I was around 23 and 24 years old.
But you know, that's young.
Yeah.
That's young to start traveling, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, from a young age, even when my dad was with his parents, I was raised on a tour bus. I went all the time and sang with the Wilburns. I got up on stage and did 1 or 2 songs. They had me sing every night from about the age of about 3 years old.
But it gets in your blood, don't it?
That's right.
You know, I was lucky. When I was a kid, my parents took me to gospel singings all over the South. And you might remember a guy named Dale Shelnick with the Florida Boys. And
sure.
He would bring me up on stage and we would sing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands." I was about 4, and he would tell me, he said, "A gentleman never takes his coat off." And I suffered through many, many hot churches with
That's
that.
Right.
Folks, we're going to be right back. Don't you leave. We're going to see some dynamite music right here by the Wilburns. You hang around. We'll be right back.
Christian, I know you're discouraged. We're living in difficult days, but even though trouble is stirring, there is hope if we just keep the faith. The good news still outweighs the bad news. God's word is the truth we can claim. And in a world where nothing is settled, there are some things that never will change. Jesus will still save the lost and their hurting. Jesus will still love you no matter what. Jesus will answer the soul who is searching, but nobody else understands how you feel. Jesus will. Jesus will. Jesus will still keep his promise, never to leave us alone. He still sends his blessings down on us, and heaven will still be our home. So when all you believe is in question, confusion is counting your mind, facing your doubt with conviction will comfort you time after time. I'm so glad it's still my mistake.
I get so caught up in life's little problems, I start buying into believing I got 'em, but I really don't. 'Cause I can pick up a paper any day of the week and read about people much worse off than me, needing hope. I get so wrapped up in worrying about myself, I forget there's a great big old world full of somebody else. But I'm just one man with these two hands, and I'm ready to reach, and I'm ready to touch. So much I can do that I haven't done. Lord, help me help someone. There's a young girl in high heels with too much makeup on, taking less than she's worth, selling more than her soul. God help her. And he did 2 tours a night, and he'd do it all again. He gets his dinner from a trash can, and he sleeps on a vent. God help him. I'm gonna help him, but I'm just one man with these two hands, and I'm ready to reach, and I'm ready to touch. So much I can do that I haven't done. Lord, help me help someone. I'm gonna stop doing nothing and start doing something. Oh, I believe we can all make a difference. And Lord, let it start with me. But I'm just one man with these two hands, but I'm ready to reach, and I'm ready to touch. So much I can do that I haven't done. Lord, help me. Lord, help me help someone. I wanna help someone. Lord, help me to help someone.
Well, Jordan, we're back again. Listen, Southern Fried Music TV, we thought that was kind of an appropriate name to have
think
this
it's
kind of
perfect,
music here. We
sure.
got a little bluegrass, a little gospel, a little bit of everything. Now, you guys have been on the road now for about 4 or 5 years together?
Right at 4.5, 5 years.
You know what's amazing, folks? What you don't realize, you go see these guys sing, you love it, you buy their CDs, you follow them around, but what you don't realize is the stress of the job on the backside. How many miles, how many days a year are you doing?
We do close to 130 dates a year.
And that's a lot of traveling.
It's a lot of traveling, and honestly, we don't have to, because we're not a full group, we're just a duet, so there's not as many of us. We don't have to, our overhead, I guess you would say, is not as much, so we don't have to tour. There's some of these groups that do 300, 365 dates a year.
Oh, I know, I can't imagine that.
And and Dad did that for the longest when he was at Gold City. I know they did that many dates. It's a blessing to us having families, and I've got a new daughter, and so that's a blessing not to have to travel that much. But still, even 130 dates, it's, I say 130 dates, that's the days we're on stage singing.
Yeah. But that don't include traveling.
That don't include getting there and getting back.
Well, and listen, on top of that, you've got to rehearse, and you're recording constantly, aren't you? You got anything new coming out?
We actually right now are finishing up a brand new album, and
I think you're always finishing up.
That's about right. And we actually this album, the first two albums, Ben Isaac's producing. He's producing this one. But through the first two albums, I took a big interest in the production and the recording side, and so I just started bugging the stew out of him, and pretty much just asking him question after question until I learned how to do it myself.
Well, he's a great guy to learn from.
He really is.
I mean, man, he is phenomenal.
He is.
Many of you know about the Isaacs, and he is probably one of the top producers in gospel and bluegrass. I mean, he's into producing some stuff for some of my bluegrass buddies right now. Yeah.
So he's a great guy, and he's taken the time to help me, and so now I actually have a recording studio there at my house. I call it Laurelwood Studios. That's the name of my street. So, but I've got a recording studio there, so we do all our recording there, and then through the new technology of email, I can just shoot it to him, and he does the mix.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's really a blessing.
I'm in the advertising business. The best thing that ever happened to me was the internet. I can send full-page ads. I can send demos. I can send video. It's wonderful, and it's amazing. But the thing about it is, when you get ready to do what you're going to do, there's just a mindset you get in, and there's nothing else going on.
That's right.
And that's what's beautiful about this music. But the thing about it is, you're praising the Lord.
That's right. That's the icing on the cake.
That is.
Because it's I don't like to call it a job or a business. I refer to it more as a ministry, but there is definitely a business side to it. But definitely at the end of the day, the reward is glorifying God.
Well, it is. And thank God you can go out into the public and see this many people you're going to see tonight and spread the word. Somebody here tonight's going to be hurting, and they need to hear what you got to say.
You're exactly right.
Folks, we're having a great time here. We're going to hear a little bit more music. Don't you run off. We'll be right back on Southern Fried Music TV.
You might have a good song if it's written by Earl Peanut Montgomery. It says, let's all go down to the river, all right? Here we go. Well, let's all go down to the river. There's a man, oh, he's walking on the water. Yes, he is now. Come on, with me. All I want to see is a man walking on the water. Now he can raise the dead from the grave, change the water and turn it into wine. Well, he can make the lame walk, he can make the dumb talk, and open up the eyes that are blind. Yes, he can. Now let's all go down to the river. There's a man, oh, he's walking on the water. Well, someone to come along with me. All I want to see is a man walking on the water. Now Jesus is the man at the river, and he's washing people's sins all away. He can save your soul if you give him control. And be ready for the judgment day. Yeah, let's all go down to the river. Come on, let's all go. There's a man, he's walking on the water. Better believe it, bells are on with me. All I want to see is a man walking on the water.
Well, folks, we've had a great night tonight. The music's been awesome. You guys are here. Thank you so much for taking time to come in and do our show with us. And tell your old daddy we missed him, but not too bad. But he's a great guy. I've known him for a long, long time, and I know he's out there busy with the folks, and that's good. But listen, tell folks how to get in touch with you, how to keep up with you, how to know where you're going to be and performing, and where your new CDs are going to be.
You can go to wilburn2.com. That's WILBURN, and actually the number 2.com. Also, our Facebook page, you just go to facebook.com, search Wilburn Wilburn, it'll pull us up there. And it's got our tour schedule, where we're going to be. It's got info on how you can order our CDs at wilburn2.com, all that good stuff. Check us out.
Hey, listen, folks, we are grateful. It's great to see you. I want to wish you luck with everything you do in the future, and hope that everything just gets better and better for you.
Thank you.
Southern Fried Music TV, we're proud to be here and bring you such great music. You keep us tuned in, okay?